What's up, guys? It's GP True Pro back with another video. I hope you guys are having a marvelous Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, if you will. I'm back talking about some insurance. This may drop today, it might not. I think I dropped a video yesterday. So if it's Wednesday, I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. But anyway, today, unfortunately, I want to inform you guys about insurance, man. I'm having a wonderful day, pushing the limits as usual, and I want to do that today. I got a couple minutes before lunch, so I want to explain some things to you. I'm about to have some nice food for lunch. I made some Parmesan chicken, spur of the moment. Just was making some baked chicken like I always do. Try to stay a little healthy. We had some Parmesan, garlic Parmesan stuff, so made some garlic Parmesan chicken. It was pretty delicious. I tried some last night, but anyway. Today I want to talk about what we call a lapse in coverage in the insurance business. Primarily towards auto today, but this will, a lapse in coverage, it could be home, it could be your business, it could affect you in many different realms of insurance. So today, what I want to say about lapses in coverage is, well, first, a lapse in coverage is any period that you're not insured. So let's say you had insurance for 3 months and then you forgot to pay the bill. They canceled it. Maybe you didn't get the notification that they were going to cancel your policy. And then you realize, oh man, my policy's canceled. I need to get it reinstated, or I need to get a new policy. The period that you were without insurance is called a lapse. Lapses are very taboo. I know a lot of folks, I've encountered a lot of individuals that have been, they don't understand the full effect of a lapse. Like, they don't understand how that could negatively affect you when looking for a new policy, when trying to renew, or whatever the case may be. So I've had a couple situations where folks have, allowed their insurance policies to lapse, and they come to me, and, whether you're looking for new insurance or if you're, whatever the case may be, want old insurance. Some folks, they let it lapse because they're like, well, I'm getting a new policy anyway. I'm going with a new company, so I'll let it lapse. And when I feel like looking for a new policy, I'll go ahead and, activate that policy. I haven't had any accidents, so it's all good, right? No. With other folks, life happens, So life just happens. The policy, they may forget, like I said, forget to make a payment, or they may forget to, look at their renewal information or contact their agent to say, hey, continue my coverage, and the policy lapses. The biggest risk with the policy lapses, first of all, during that period, you're not covered. So if you would, if your policy actually lapses and you were to go ahead and file a claim, there's big potential that your claim may not be paid out. Some instances, the policy, like if you cancel for non-payment, in some instances, your policy still covers you for an additional 30 days after that cancellation due to non-payment. But it differs, so check your insurance policy to see how that works with non-payment. So ask your insurance company, if I were to not pay, would I still be covered? For how long would I be covered, or however you want to word that. But the biggest deal is to make sure you're always covered, because I get so many people with the latter that say, hey, I knew I was going to shop for new insurance, so I let my policy lapse. I had a person I was talking to recently, and they asked me for a rate. I collected all the information like usual. I want to tailor your policy based on you and not based on the general consensus in the world. I'm not going to tell anyone, hey, I'll get you this rate. I've gotten that rate for a lot of people, but I want to get a policy based on what you need, and I'll get you the best rate tailored for your tailored needs. So I got all of his information. We were working on a policy, and what happened is with that policy, I got a flag that told me that their policy, it was possible that their insurance may have lapsed, their recent insurance may have lapsed. So I called and I asked them, I said, hey, have you had continuous insurance? And they basically said no, they didn't have continuous insurance. So I told them, I was like, well, this it affected the rate. Level with them and inform them of the new rate after the lapse. Their rate increased by about $700 because there was a lapse in coverage. Not because they were a bad driver, not because they had an extreme amount of risk. It's because of the lapse. Because what an insurance underwriter is thinking, what an insurance company is thinking, when someone has a lapse, especially for anything outside of a couple of days, like maybe a day or two, you may be okay with a day or two. But when you have a lapse for weeks or months, then we're talking about, well, what were they doing during that time? There's no reported information during that time. So the insurance company doesn't know, like, if you got in an accident, if something fell on your car, they don't know how you were driving during that period. Unless of course you get in an accident and someone reports it to the police. But if you get in an accident, it's not reported. We don't know what you're doing. And so it's just, the insurance company views it as a heightened risk. You know, statistically speaking, they're viewing it as like a heightened risk. Or should I say generally speaking, they're thinking that drivers who let their insurance lapse are likely to, you know, get into an accident or something like that. So keep that in mind. If you're gonna renew with another company or switch to another company when you renew, either shop in advance, which I always recommend because you get a discount for shopping in advance with most companies. So either shop in advance or stay with your current company until you actually get the policy with the new company. Insurance isn't a situation where you can't cancel during the term. If you have an insurance policy, you can cancel during the term. Auto, home, most policies you can cancel during the term and say, hey, there's no ETF or anything. You just say, hey, I want to cancel my policy. Go with a different company. And so I would rather you do that and not affect your rate. Now, canceling during the term will probably cost you more money because you're going to have to start with the new company, and you're probably going to have to pay a month and then the next month pay with a different company. So it may be, you know, a few more bucks with the down payment, but it's still better than having a exponential increase in your premium because your policy lapsed. Keep that policy going. Another one I get is when folks aren't driving the car, maybe the car's, you know, not able to be driven. It's in the shop or it broke down or something. You're not able to drive it for a few months. And instead of, or the kid's away at college, and like, well, she's not driving her car right now, so I'm gonna take her off the insurance. Or I'm not driving my car right now, so I'm gonna cancel my insurance. This is one of the bigger ones. What you can do to avoid a lapse in those situations, both of those similar situations, is to get garaging coverage. You know, I also had a customer that called and said, hey, I'm not gonna be driving this car as much anymore. It's gonna be in my garage most of the time, so I need you to take that one off the policy. And I said, hey, instead of taking it off the policy so there can be continuous insurance, how about we do a garage policy? You know, what's a garage policy? A garage policy is what it sounds like. It's a policy for a vehicle that's going to be stored. It's not going to be driven. Essentially comprehensive coverage. If something happens while it's in the garage per se or parked, then you have coverage for that. A paint can falls on it, a tree falls on it, or whatever the case may be. Garage policies are usually fairly inexpensive. When I say inexpensive, I'm talking about maybe like $75 for 6 months or something like that. That's not a general rule of thumb, case by case basis, but they're very inexpensive to have. So that's a great way to keep your vehicle insured while, you know, kind of minimizing the amount that you're paying for it if you're not able to drive your vehicle. So what we learned today, the biggest lesson is, no matter what, do not allow your policy to lapse. This can affect your new policy. Don't allow it to lapse. No matter what, I don't care what you're going through. As your agent, I'm telling you, do not allow your policy to lapse. This can, I'm not saying it will, but it can. It's a very good chance that it can affect if you decide to switch to a new company and there's a lapse within the previous 6 months, you can. All right, guys. So, of course, if you need a knowledgeable agent that's looking to inform you, looking to get you the best policy coverage for the best price, give me a call. My telephone number is 281-558-0818. I'm GP True Pro. I'm signing out.